items with city engineer, Mayor Veritas. I think Mr. Jones had on there beautification programs to discuss. So these are all things that we have put on it, that we have said that we wanted on future agenda items that we all voted on. And so we want to make sure that moving forward, if that's something that gets to the next agenda.
The beautification program for Councilman Jones, if I'm not mistaken.
Is underneath your report.
Okay, and believe me, does it not say Councilman Jones after it?
No.
Okay, well, this is city council members on committees, and I will be glad to show you the email. It's simply an error, Councilman. I have no rationale or reason to discuss the beautification committee on what I sent to Ms. Dickey, and it was an error. I mean, we just get a lot done around here, and I was away, but it had beautification committee with your name on it. So that's not a slight, it's a mistake. If you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you look at item 6 under mayor's report, it says discuss and take action on council duties, city charter. That should be under regular agenda. It was simply an error and not a slight.
So
there's no intent to do anything other than do what we're supposed to do here. You're making it sound like it's vindictive. It's on here, it's in the wrong spot, and it doesn't have your name on it, but that was the intent.
all right, I mean, it's always stayed on me. Fool me once, shame on me. If you guys have been coming to each city council meeting, this is the 4th time that this has miraculously, incidental, happened to me or council member Rowe. And I don't have no personal vendetta against the mayor. I'm here to do my work just as he is. But Ms. Dickey, so in the email that was sent to you was like, where did it go wrong? Was it a mishap upon your behalf or upon the mayor's behalf? Because in that same email, I also asked for us to discuss and take action upon these committees so that moving forward, position 5 would sit on this committee regardless who wins. Position 4 would be a part of this committee upon who's on it. So it's funny how that just one item was supposed to say my name when I sent the whole email upon those committees.
If you look at the item, it says city council members on committees. It's simply in the wrong spot.
Yes,
if
sir.
you move it down one.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to know where it went wrong.
Well,
so was it Ms. Dickey or
well, I didn't type it, but it's on here in the wrong spot. There's nothing vindictive about a typo.
So Ms. Dickey was
And putting all this information together, it was typed up incorrectly, but it shows the intent.
Ms. Dickey, was that your mistake or the mayor's mistake?
I'll take credit for the mistake. Let's say it's the mayor's mistake. I put it in the wrong spot.
So from now moving forward, do you do the agenda or do Ms. Dickey?
I'm responsible for the agenda. So if there's something wrong on the agenda, blame me. I'm responsible for every employee in the city, so if there's a problem with an employee, blame me.
So
It all stops here.
So how do we move forward? On Wednesday, do you want us to email you saying the agenda? Well, do we email you or Ms. Dickey? That's one. Then secondly, when we send that email, would you like that email by Wednesday, 5 o'clock? Or would you like it that follow the previous Friday, before that Friday going into that Monday meeting? How would you like it so that way these same mistakes cannot keep happening? And sometimes if you allow city council to send in reports, because I'm aware of, we've been asked for an open records request upon for us to have certain job descriptions. I'm actually working upon job descriptions, so maybe I could take that off you guys' plate since you guys have so much going on around here. But we have to be transparent with one another moving forward. So how do we properly go about being transparent with one another? When would you like for our items to be sent to you so that way we can make sure the following agenda that is placed on it?
Well, if you're saying you want to make sure there's not going to be any errors, that's not going to happen. That's like you're saying you're not going to make a mistake. Because that's what you're saying.
He's asking how can we go?
We asked for it to be here by Wednesday at 5, okay? And in typing and rushing and finishing up on Friday, it simply went one level up. If you move regular agenda right before that, it goes right on there. And the intent was to do committee placements, and yours, as you asked, you wanted to be involved with beautification. So we have the beautification committee. We're doing a lot. You have no idea. And when you say how you can help us, you can request information, and we're gonna try to get that information to you. And we've done that.
Not for me, I've been asking for information for the previous 2 months. So all I'm asking is how do we move on and go about properly moving our city forward and helping? I didn't even know about the emergency management meeting, but I called Chief and Chief Porter to see, hey, how could I help? I seen this being done, so how about let's go about this? Okay, well, I know that we have Attorney Kern, we have this going on. Okay, how could I help? If we state something, now I'm pretty sure we none of us that are elected would like for our city to fail or go down the drain. So we would like to assist you in any way possible moving forward.
Well, what we will do in fixing this simply misplaced on the agenda is on next, we'll list the committees. Ms. Dickey, I know we talked about it, and again, it just went one item up. And we'll carry that over, and we'll make sure Councilman Jones' name is behind the beautification committee, because that is the way I sent it, and we'll make sure it stays there.
You know, I understand, that's not the way that
Well, hold on, Councilman. We are setting up so that council members, as well as the community, can select the committees. You said you want to help, and beautification is one of them. The emergency meeting, Chief's having at 3 o'clock, and he shared at 10 o'clock, and he shared that date. These are all committees. So this gives councilmen something to do. So one thing I want to share with you while you're looking for something to do is you should have a copy of, we are talking duties.
Where are we at?
Okay. Moving the agenda, item F, delinquent tax report. What we shared, we got Linebacker, he was here. On the public works report, you heard basically most of it. The only thing I want to share with you is in finding out that we had a proposed $742,000. I contacted a gentleman, and we're setting up a meeting, and I'll include you on that, Judge, because he can help us with that applying and stuff, so we won't have to do it. And going after that money, then we may take a look and see which would be our best option to better help the folks with the city. It's all FEMA money, money coming from the feds and the state.
I had a question for USW.
Yes.
So I guess, are they doing a report, or did we get a report from USW for this one?
He did send me a report, but we were in the EDC meeting, so I did not get a chance to print that out for you guys, but I can.
You have anything you want to come up and share with us?
I apologize, and I can run through it real quick for you. Good evening, council and the residents of Prairie View. My name is Corey Bostic. I'm the operator for the city of Prairie View. Get situated here, sorry about that. And I do apologize. I was here in the city today with Exante. He called us up and he wanted to go
Councilman
through.
Wallace.
I'm sorry, Councilman Wallace, I apologize. He called us up and wanted to go through the facilities here in the city. So we appreciate that. That's something that we actually encourage our clients to do, at least on a yearly basis, where they can see the condition of the facilities and the progress that we have with operating the city facilities. Before you have the June 11th operations report, and I do apologize for getting back to the office late and not getting to Ms. Dickey on time. I did not know that she had a meeting that she was in. Compliance overview. All vaccine samples for the month of May are in compliance and have been taken. We received and filed the monthly groundwater production conservation reports. We also performed our monthly grease trap inspections for the month of May. And we also filed the first quarter DLQOR for the city of Prairie View as well as filed the CCR. And a copy of that has been provided for the city to mail out to its residents. Operations overview, I do want to inform you all that lift station, Old Houston lift station repairs from Hurricane Harvey are now 100% complete. That is under the FEMA claim that we currently have going on with the city. It's one of the facilities that fall underneath that FEMA. Richards Road Brookside Lift Station, unfortunately I have to report that both those motors, pumps at the lift station shorted to ground due to lightning. This is going to be a TML insurance claim. I've already filed it with TML. But what I'd like to do is bring to your attention that none of the lift stations have surge arresters installed at them. I did reach out and get a quote for the installation and the cost of the surge arresters for each of the lift stations, so I can provide that information over to you all. We did respond to 5 RMS callouts for the month of May. We did have some inclement weather in the beginning of the month that had the lift stations in high level, and we just responded to the high levels. A lot of times when we do have rain events, as you know, all the I&I that the city receives washes grease and accumulation of rags to the lift stations, and some of those that are larger than 4 to 6 inches will clog the pumps, and we'll have to pull the pumps and derag them. Even though there are no clogged pumps, there's no such thing as absolutely no clogged pump, but it will pass through debris that are 2 to 4 inches. But anything larger than that, it will clog it up, and we will have to pull the pumps and have them deragged. So we have a couple of lift stations: Greenfield, Richards Road, and let's see, I believe it's Greenfield, Richards Road.
2 on Greenfield, or did we get that correct?
Yes, it was a
Was it
date.
duplicate?
No, it wasn't a duplicate, it was a date error. It should have been May 17, 2018. What prompted that, after I left the office, I started thinking about it. I looked at the work order numbers. Work order numbers are in chronological order. So for May, which was, the first one was April, which was work order was 31,740. So May, the work order number was like 31,954. So I started doing some research, and I saw that it should have been closed on May.
I have 3 questions.
Yes, sir.
The grease traps that y'all check grease traps for the entire city, so businesses that have a grease trap, how does that work? How does that process work?
Yes, so we became aware of, I believe there's 4 that we checked for the city of Prairie View. There's one at the washateria, right there at the Chevron. They have a kitchen inside there, so we checked that one. We checked Subway, we checked the Valero, because they cook at the Valero. And there's one other one that we're checking. I'm sorry, there's 2 there at the washateria. There's the washateria lint trap, and then there's the grease trap that's there at the kitchen at the gas station. So there's a total of 4 that we check for the city monthly, and we record that information and we file it for the city.
The other question, you said the pump shorted to ground on Richards Road. What was the impact on the lift station?
It basically melted those contacts and caused both of the lift pumps to short to ground.
So we have backup pumps there? Or how
Yes,
is it?
we're currently, right now, there's a rental pump at one side.
How long have we had that?
It's been in there since April 24th.
So did we?
Right, there wasn't a meeting in May
Yeah,
that I attended.
May 14th.
Right, and I don't believe I was at that meeting in May. I don't know if Byron attended that one, because it was early on. So I think we were coming to the second meeting, and that was during the election process. So we didn't attend until the meeting.
So what does that cost? Like, what is the cost? In the report, I'm assuming that there's some cost breakdowns and some things that need to be paid or may have, so that's why I'm asking this question.
Yes, and I'm still waiting on those reports to come back from the pump manufacturer. Hopefully, we can get this covered under warranty, because those pumps are still under warranty. But a lot of times, in a situation like this, there wasn't a surge arrestor at the facility that could have prevented it from happening. And it's pretty much an act of God, so a lot of times that might not be covered under warranty.
So to the surge protector, what is it called?
Surge arrestor.
Arrestor. Didn't we just replace Richards Road within the last 2 years, and
Yes.
your company was the one that did it? Why wasn't, if it was needed, why wasn't it recommended? Is it always recommended to have that, or is this just kind of one of those food vaccines?
Well, in the city, and I was talking to Councilman Williams about this today. Wallace. Wallace about this today. I'm still kind of familiar with your name, I apologize. You know, this city, when you run the weather tracking reports, there's a lot of lightning strikes in this area. And, you know, we didn't know that prior to us coming in, and we're finding out that information now. So that's what's been recommended at this point, is to put surge arrestors in because of the amount of lightning strikes that we've had so far that has done damage to the system.
How much does that, ballpark figure, how much is that?
I estimate roughly around 15, what I've seen in the past, about $1,500, $1,700.
Oh, 1,500?
Yes, per lift station.
Per lift station,
Yes.
okay. I thought it was 15,000.
No, 15.
1,500. All right, thank you. That was it.
Councilman Jones? Oh. Thank you, sir.
May you reiterate about the water pressure over at Brookside? Like what was going on there?
I personally wasn't involved in the testing that was going on there at Brookside. My operator, Byron, was out there. Byron, you want to come up and?
Thank you, Mayor, Council, citizens. Questions, sir?
Like, what was the issue with the low water pressure over at Brookside?
The water pressure over there failed what they call the pitot test. So it means there wasn't enough pressure when two hydrants were open in case there was like a major fire or something. So it's just, it was a major system pressure drop.
Oh, so basically Brookside has two fire hydrants.
That line has several fire hydrants on it because it's up and down Richards Road. So it's actually not inside the facility.
Can you, so when y'all came on board, there was a line, so history says that the line, gravity flow line for the lift station on Richards Road was pumping one way. When the washateria and the gas station came in, one of the deals with the Showers who lived there and owned that property on the corner, and one of the things that the community came and voiced their opinion was about the line backing up or doing something in his yard. That flow was reversed. That flow was reversed to go, is it up or, I don't know.
Yeah, it's against.
To go against, so it's a cutoff. How does, what has happened with the lift station on Richards Road, how does that affect that line versus, which I'm assuming is on the right-hand side of, if we're looking down Richards Road, and the water line, which is on the left-hand side, which is, connects the 4 hydrants that you have on Richards Road? How is that? I'm assuming that there is a reason why the water line is not on the same side of the street, or is that, can you run a water line or sewer line next to each other, or do they have to be a distance away? On the reason why that there is no water lines on the opposite side of the street.
Right, you have to have a 9-foot clearance for any non-potable system to be next to a potable system. So it's not that they can't be on the same side, as long as there's a 9-foot clearance. So if you wanted to run a water line on the east side of Richard Road, where the force main is going to Richards Road lift station on the north side of 290, you would just have to have a 9-foot clearance underneath or above the wastewater treatment force main, which it's only about 4 to 5 feet deep, so you would have to have a 9-foot clearance below it.
In the process with So in this, I guess just to try to understand what our current, and this question may be for the mayor, may be for USW. Public Works, we have a third party, which is USW. And y'all, and you specifically, do the paperwork checks that goes into the state. You abreast us of things if we have overruns or things of that nature. Our three people? Three people that we have in-house, they actually are the ones who check the meters monthly for the citizens. And so if we have an issue about the water, who handles, so you're out there, because of some of the information we have and us not having this information in prior reports, like who would have been the one to communicate that, so we kind of, have this conversation so we know that, okay, this is a priority, but we're coming up in our budget cycle in the next 2 months. We need to be able to prioritize the priorities for the city, and the mayor will give us some information from Public Works on his priorities, and so we need to make sure that we align. We need to remember that, well, there's a development or things happening here, we need to make sure that we may need to give some priority or look at the impact.
Well, currently, we have, the contract that we have in place with the city, we provide O&M services, operation and maintenance services for the facilities. There is a clause in there to where if the mayor requests us to do something for the city, the distribution and collection system, we will do that with the work authorization billed at the rate of time and material. So to answer your question, we provide the service coming from the facilities and collect what's coming into the lift stations, but the city employees, they are the ones that are out in the distribution and collection system actually doing the work for the city. Are there any more questions?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. And again, I apologize for not having that report. I'll bring it next.
We'll make sure we get it to them physically. City council reports.
Good evening, citizens. I just want to say it was a great, we had a great swearing in. Last week, we swore in the mayor and our two council members, Councilmember Wendy Williams and Councilmember Zante Wallace. We had a packed house, so it is, again, a pleasure to work with. It's going to be a pleasure to work with council moving forward, but also want to take this opportunity to congratulate Councilwoman Barnett on her work that she's done in the city of Prairie View. And hopefully, I don't know, Ms. Dickey, did we get something to be able to give to recognize Ms. Barnett yet?
That's being done.
Thank you. I also want to recognize, we had, in Troop 1906, we had two graduates who graduated from high school, who were both our Life Scouts who were transitioning to the Eagle Scout, both finished their Eagle Scout project here in the city of Prairie View. And that's Tyrese Skeen and Shake Jackson. They both graduated, I think, last week from high school. So again, we are moving the city forward. Also want to send my condolences to Dr. Edward Martin, who passed, who was a pillar of this community. Dr. Martin, I served with Dr. Martin on the credit union board, but also he also wrote my letter of recommendation to get in my PhD program 5 years ago. If you don't know Dr. Martin's son is DJ Premier, the world famous, and they grew up here in the Prairie View community. His service will be this Friday, so the wake is from 10 to 12 at the Catholic Church in Hempstead. I'm sorry, Drexel. From 10 to 12 is the viewing, and the funeral services is at 12. Again, the Prairie View Boy Scouts of America, we meet Troop 1906. We meet on the first and third Wednesday here at Prairie View City Hall at 7. And the Prairie View Chamber meets on the last Thursday of every month at the Alumni Building at 12 o'clock. If you have an opportunity, please come out and support. Thank you.
Good evening. First off, I just want to congratulate our new elected and our re-elected mayor, new city council members. I wasn't able to attend the swearing-in. I couldn't get off work in time, but like Councilman Rowland said, I look forward to the work that they're going to do and continue to do if you move the city forward. The biggest thing for me is August the 4th will be our Hustle Sports football camp. I've been talking about it for a while. We kind of pushed it back a little bit just because a lot of things are going on, but August 4th, ages 5 to 13, free youth camp, football camp for anybody from anywhere between the ages of 5 and 13. It's our 3rd year doing it. It's a service we provide for the community just because it's something that we enjoy and we understand the value of organized sports. We're looking for donors and we're looking for sponsors. So if you're interested in being a financial donor or sponsor so that we can provide this free camp for these kids, please reach out to me or I'll reach out to you, and we greatly appreciate the support. Totally unrelated to city business, I guess I had the privilege to coach in the Body Bowl this past Saturday at it's the Houston All-Star game for high school students. So our offensive staff from all the win, we were there from Wednesday to Saturday. The game was televised. We got cheated at the end, but yeah, it was a great experience. We got to meet people from all over the city of Houston, great young men, great athletes, and it was a great experience. So I look forward to the work that we continue to do. I can look forward to the city moving forward, and I hope that we can improve things, and I believe it all starts with communication, so we can all work on our ability to communicate and discuss the issues before they become issues. I feel like things would be a lot smoother and we can get a lot more accomplished. We're all a team, and we'll only go as high as we carry each other, so thank y'all.
Councilman Jones?
He didn't tell y'all that they caught his beautiful face on television. But my report, I'm happy to serve and to do my best to serve this community the best way that I can. I heard Dr. Brown complaint, as she said, and I actually have 2 representatives, one named Gary from TXDOT. Today, Ms. Dickey assisted me in booking City Hall tomorrow at 5 p.m. So hopefully the mayor will hear this and hopefully send out a robocall to the citizens. With being at 5 p.m. tomorrow in this room, TXDOT will come and speak upon the flowers or the meeting that's going down 290, so you can ask questions upon that project. They're providing that opportunity, as well as I've been doing as much as I can, knowing that it's summertime and I'm not like quite privileged as Exante to graduate yet, but using my time wisely and being an asset to anybody that I can. Talked to the 100 Club today about helping me and assisting me with writing a letter, so that way we could possibly get those 2 votes. And moving forward, I also want to congratulate, I guess next to sit to it, I guess my 2 constituents, partners in crime, to the right, Mayor Allen, continue doing his work, and as well as Ms. Williams. We call her mom now, and that we all younger than her, and as well as Exante, congratulating them. But thank you guys for allowing me to serve and do my best.
Thank you. Councilman Williams?
Good evening. First, I want to say congratulations to Jonathan Randall. It was really nice to see him on TV, watching him coach the West. And I think he did a phenomenal job, him and well as another resident that lives in Prairie View, Coach Raymond Wilson, who's a graduate of Prairie View University, who played baseball for Prairie View. Also, I just wanted to let you know that I'm continuing to work with Officer White and Ms. Herndon with the Ordinance Committee. Our goal is to try to write 10 citations a week, and the main thing is for us to ensure safety, health, and the care in the city, which is, and I think right now Officer White is doing a phenomenal job, along with the other duties that he may have. He's done a great job of doing that, and if you have any kind of complaints or anything